So I hope all you guys are enjoying the dead week that we've been having for the past 2 weeks now. I know I haven't because I miss making videos and talking to you guys, but alas, it's gonna be a slow week or two for the remainder of whatever until a big event comes out, or at least a rerun. With that being said, let's go make some filler videos because I know you guys love that stuff. So we get right into it. Today's video, we'll be going over campaign once again, starting from the core ships that are needed for each map. So if you guys don't know, you have to build your fleet in a specific way, going from chapters 1, well maybe not 1, maybe like 6, but 1 through 15. Alright, so we'll start from the beginning and we'll work our way to 15 to give you guys an idea of how to build proper fleets if you guys haven't seen the bajillion guides out there for how to do campaign for whatever map chapter you're in. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the first 5 chapters of this game, you can run basically whatever you want. The most important thing here are gonna be levels. It doesn't matter if it's 3-4, it doesn't matter if it's 2-1, it doesn't matter if it's like, I don't know, 5-4, whatever. No one farms the map at all. It doesn't really matter too much. You can run whatever you want: carriers, battleships, tanks, DDs, whatever you guys want to run, and you pretty much are gonna get full clears up until here. The most important things are your levels, and until they add that feature like they're doing the events where they show the level for the map zone or whatever, as long as you're about like 10 or so levels above the content, you should be okay going up from chapters 1 through chapters 5. It is just that easy. It's not complicated. Just over level the content and you're basically good to go, just like any kind of JRPG or MMOs that you guys play. Just out level it and it's gonna be a cinch. Now, starting chapter 6 is when it get a little bit more difficult if you guys have been preparing properly. So starting at chapter 6, there's going to be suicide bombers hitting your backline. I say this is really bad because a lot of people have like Unicorn, they have carriers like Enterprise, Kagi Kaga, and they're like thinking, Kimo, I'm having a tough time this chapter, what's going on here? Well, you're going to get hit by suicide bombers unless you have a really stacked out Akagi or Amagi CV. You're going to need some battleships. So the best battleships for chapters 6 through like probably 11 are going to be non-USS battleships. I say non-USS because USS battleships cannot hold a auxiliary gun that is light cruiser. Light cruisers has wider spread for their guns and not like DDs. DDs have like kind of spread out wide guns but not really. You want to have non-USS battleships. So let's take for example some random one that you guys probably have. Let's say like Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth can definitely work out here. Now that she doesn't have a barrage, there's better options out there, but secondary gun, you want to have some kind of widespread. I suggest a good one that's like you can farm from like 4-2 or something like that. This is really good here, or 4-1. I can't remember what map it was. And you can toss that on, and that will suffice for your suicide bomber protection. You guys can knock out most of the chapters with just this gun alone, but you want to have at least 2 battleships in your backline. And if you want to toss in like a healer like Unicorn, and that will knock out most of your content up until chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and even 11. Just make sure you have a sufficient level going through these chapters. I say about 10 or so higher. So at chapter 11, you're looking at like level 100 or so. You want to be like maybe 105, 110, and that'll make the content much easier for you. Double backline battleships that has light cruiser auxiliaries and a healer if you guys really want to, and that'll basically clear up from chapter 6 through chapter 11. Now 11 is when the fun part begins. If you guys have been investing into battleships, you guys don't have any anti-air, it may be a little bit of a struggle for you. Now you want to stack carriers, healers, Perseus, Unicorn, all that jazz, because there's a system called airspace control. This thing right here, you want to have a lot of anti-air and aviation, because you want to have this number be about the same as this one, so you get buffs, you won't get debuff, and you'll do more damage as well too. Now if you outlevel the content, you outgear by a sufficient amount, you don't really need to do this, but for first time clearers, I suggest having a lot of carriers, good healers like Unicorn and Perseus, and your time over here will be much easier. Now for your vanguards, if you guys don't know how to build proper vanguard fleets for chapter 12 or whatever, just stack high anti-air like 300 plus, and try to have at least one of these things right here. I should be using one as well too, but I'm really lazy. This thing right here, high performance control radar. It gives a plus 100 at plus 10, so just toss that onto high anti-air ships and you should be good to go. So carriers, healers, if you want to do battleships, that works out as well too. Some high anti-air vanguards and you're good to go. Same thing with chapter 13, it works the same way as chapter 12, just a little bit higher level, so you gotta be more tight with your levels, like level 120, and maybe a little bit more meta on your fleet building, like Perseus and Unicorn, and high good anti-air ships like Illustrious and Yorktown too, if you have those. But it works very similar to chapter 12. Now 14 is when it's going to get crazy. A lot of people aren't prepared for chapter 14 because you need destroyers here. I say about 2 destroyers in your mob fleet and 2 destroyers, 1 destroyer in your boss fleet. Now you can do 1 destroyer in your mob fleet as well too, but for like safety control, I say just do 2, make your life much easier. And your backline, if you guys have Musashi, she's very good here for a mob and a boss setup, because there's going to be a lot of suicide bombers and Rambos, and Musashi basically takes the aggro out of all of them, and she has a high HP pool, making your life much easier if you want to run something like Musashi, Unicorn, and like another healer like Aquila. You're going to want to have at least 1 or 2 healers, preferably 2 healers in your mob fleet, and maybe just pure DPS for your boss fleet. But you want to make sure you have some air control and some battleships, because there's like a lot of projectiles and stuff on the floor or whatever. But mob fleet though, for your fan cards, 1 tank, 2 DDs work out, and then for your boss fleet, just full on damage with at least 1 DD. It'll make your life much easier that way. But there's a little bit more diverse. The first 2 chapters aren't that hard at all. You'll be like, oh, chapter 14 is easy. But when you get to 14.3 or 14.4, that's when it's gonna get trickier. That's when you want to start doing proper team comps. So once again, I'll say it: a good battleship, a healer or 2, or just 1, like, and then like an air control ship like damage or whatever, like Yorktown, Implacable, whatever. 1 tank, 2 DDs. Boss fleet can be whatever you want. Carriers, battleships. Your main objective with this boss fleet is to kill the boss very fast, so you don't have to deal with all that mechanic stuff later on. But have at least 1 destroyer in there, because there are going to be submarines, and you got to deal with that. Alright, so chapter 15, again, it is not super difficult. It's more of a team comp check. 15, you really want to start using a lot of healers. The best healers are going to be Unicorn and Perseus, Aquila. There are multiple ships that can heal. Carrier healers are now viable, like some examples can be like, if I can swap these damn ships right here. I guess I can't. Some healers are gonna be like 121s, like Pain LaVey, Claudia Valance. There's some other ones here. I'm just BB filters, that's why. Aquila, like I said earlier. There's more in here. Volga. Like, a lot of these carry healers are going to be very, very viable here. And if you want to have a very easy time clearing this, I suggest running 2 in your mob fleet and 1 strong battleship like Musashi, and go a pure anti-air vanguard like Guam, Scylla, that 1 PR ship Shimanto, and then boss fleet could be another healer or 2, because you gotta like swap around. But I think they changed it. I haven't been chapter 50 for a while now, but I think they nerfed it for a bit. So if you want to do the double healer comp, you can as well too. Otherwise, maybe 1 healer and 1 damage carrier and maybe 1 battleship should be okay. Like Kearsarge or New Jersey with Yorktown 2, and then a side ship can be like a healer like Pain LaVey or Volga. And then your vanguards can also be high anti-air or a little bit of a buffer as well too. But by then, at chapter 15, you pretty much know how to build proper team comps. You should be okay. The support, I will stack all double fighter carriers like oh my god, I forgot her name. Indomitable, Illustrious, Implacable works here as well too. Submarines tops out as well for your first time clears. But again, this chapter 15 is more of a team comp check more than like diversity, but they have been adding more anti-air ships lately, so it shouldn't be that hard a year from now. But again, it may be tricky for some people that aren't aware of how to build proper fleets. All right, so I didn't specifically name out a lot of ships. I just gave you guys an idea of how to build fleets for specific chapters that you guys may be struggling on. Again, up until maybe chapter 14, I think it's really too hard. When it gets closer to level 130, 125, you may struggle a bit because of the level difference, because you're capped at 125. All right. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm out of here. See you guys next video. Peace out.